Striker Scorpion 82 is now sponsored by Warhammer Combat Cards, a card battle game featuring your favourite Citadel miniatures from the 40k universe. Build your army decks, dominate opponents in player versus player action, collect and upgrade cards to fit your strategy, improve their power and unlock unique traits. Choose from all 40k factions, take part in campaigns based on iconic 40k battles, rise to the top of the leaderboard and win glory. Free to download and play, link is in the video description below or on the channel homepage, and by using the unique link it helps support the channel. Thanks and enjoy the game. Right, welcome to this tactics and showcase video. It is for my Tyranid Swarmlord. I've always wanted to get a hold of the model, and with this new revamped list that I've put together for the Tyranids, I have got a hold of the model and been able to paint it up. So it's two parts to the video. It's going to be a showcase. We'll take a look at the model, we'll zoom in, you get a chance to have a look at the model itself, and then we'll get stuck into the tactica for it here from the Tyranids Codex. And then also a bit of reference here to the Blood of Baal Psychic Awakening book as well. But these videos are all about a chance to take a look at individual models and units, and then also just to focus in on the specific rules and to try and work through the point of taking this unit. I've put it into my recent list. It's the new Warlord actually for my brand new Tyranid army, 2,000 points, and I think an important unit, but one that you still need to look after on the battlefield because it can attract a lot of attention. So the model is here to keep up with what's coming off the painting desk. Instagram's a great platform, so if you're not following me already on Instagram, then it's just striking Scorpion 82 on Instagram. The link for that will be in the video description below. But I often do sneak peeks at all sorts of different times during the day when I'm painting up stuff, or in the evening time, and something new for you to see. I'll take pictures of it. Instagram is a great platform for sharing images. Also do keep you posted of videos, main videos when they're released, and then also pictures from our battle reports as well. So some unique stuff there over on Instagram. But here's the model, just here. We'll zoom in, take a closer look. So I've always loved the model. I think it's absolutely fantastic to have these four arms of these bone sabers. Brilliant. Games actually did a fantastic job redoing the Hive Tyrant model. So you've got the Hive Tyrant wings, and then you've got the option here for the Swarmlord as well. And always wanted to do this configuration, so super happy with how this one's come out. And he's the Warlord. He's meant to be a nasty beast and so on. So one tip that you can do to try and add to the stature is just to, when you base them, put them on top of rocks. A couple of rocks from the garden, just stuck on with super glue. And then that's just provided, it gives him an extra almost an inch in height just to make him a bit bigger. Then on Instagram took some close-up views, just a pile of skulls here, given him the name the Decapitator, the Decimator of Mankind, trying to build up a reputation for this new beast, this new monster that's arrived for the Tyranid army. And he looks the part, just with all these sabres here. Looks like he's ready to cut down anything that's in his path. So very much liking the look of this model. Sort of perfect model to be your Warlord for a Tyranid army. If you like the colour scheme here, there is the painting tutorial already on the channel. Just check that out in the painting tutorial section. The Tyranids painting tutorial. That is showing you the whole process here, basing, highlighting washes, and then this bone chitting technique here that I've used to create this effect. But I've gone for red, nice sort of aggressive colour scheme for my Tyranid force, and it's Apocalypse in size now, so this is another model to add to that collection. There he is. We'll take a look at him in the rules next. So Hive Tyrant is nasty, aggressive. It's the Warlord. You want to get him stuck into close combat and so on, but you've got to be careful, I think, with him, because as you'll see, he's tough enough, but I think he can be picked on and destroyed, so you've got to be sensible. I'll bring up the stats for him first of all. There's all sorts of options that you can do to I'll try to share as much tactical for him as possible. So the Swarmlord, and you do want to get him into close combat because he is pretty good. So 15 power level. I can tell you what points he is. It's just a flat cost because it's actually a named character, so don't get caught out trying to give him relics and warlord traits, or changing the warlord trait, and he gets a fixed warlord trait, but he's actually a named character. Here, the Swarmlord. So was 300 points, 250 points. So he's expensive, and it's another reason to try and keep him alive for as long as you can during a game, not to lose him by getting caught out a load of firepower. So there's a damage chart here. It's weapon skill 2+, which is always going to remain at 2+, which is great. Ballistic skill 3+. Strength is 8, then 7, then 6, which is alright. Toughness 7, 12 wounds. Starts with 6 attacks, 5 attacks, then 4 attacks. Leadership 10, and a 3+ armor save. So pretty good. And then the movement here, movement 9s when he's healthy enough. Movement 9's fast for a beast like this, and then movement 7, then movement 5, and that's down to just 1 to 3 wounds left. One of the problems is he's a character, but he's got 12 wounds, so he can be targeted as normal. So you've got him in amongst your battle line, you're moving forwards, the opponent can pick on the Swarmlord. That's no restriction compared to other characters that are less wounds. You can only really use snipers against them, or clear away the screens that are in front. So immediately you put him in the heart of your army ready to advance. The opponent's going to go for the Swarmlord more often than not. So one tactica is to keep him hidden, and that sort of fits in with the play style for this guy. Not hidden the entire time, but bring him out at the right point when perhaps the enemy firepower has been neutralised mostly. Then you can bring him out and try and get him into close combat. Are going to be deadly enough for sort of mopping up actions towards the end of a game to have him moving around and causing trouble. So patience is required for the Swarmlord. If you do make him your Warlord, which I have, then you get a Warlord trait that's actually pretty good. It's Alien Cunning. At the start of the first battle round before the first turn begins, you can remove your Warlord from the battlefield and set them up again if both players have units that do so on and so on and so on. So you alternate. But it means you can, it's sort of a deceptive redeploy you can do them. So you can deliberately place them somewhere or hide them somewhere, and you realise you've got first turn or you don't have first turn. You can react to that by going for a redeploy with the Swarmlord. So you could deploy very aggressive, hoping to go first, and if you don't, then you can make a redeploy with them. It doesn't cost you anything, it just comes as that Warlord trait. So I think it's pretty good. So if you do sense you're in danger, then you can redeploy it, which is pretty useful. So when he fights, then he has these bone sabers. So strength for the user, which is strength 8 to start off with. Remember, 6 attacks at 2s to hit, AP -3 and a straight 3 damage. Any 6s to wound roll, 6+ to wound roll. It's a mortal wound in addition to any other damage. Pretty good. He'll cut down characters unless you start fighting against units with pretty good invuln, so it's 4+, 3+. Then his attacks aren't going to be anywhere near as good. So he's okay. And often I found I roll 6 attacks, I get a couple of 1s, and only 4 attacks have come through. Maybe you're fighting against a vehicle and it's just not going to be enough to destroy the vehicle. So as mean as he looks in close combat, he's not utterly amazing. He's okay, but it's going to maybe take a few battle rounds to try and crack through a target. He does have a 4+ invuln save in any situation, and then blade parry. There's a pincer tail here. It's easily, I forget that in close combat. There's blade parry +1 to the Swarmlord's invuln saves against wounds caused by melee weapons. If he does get stuck into close combat, maybe against quite a high caliber enemy character or unit, he's got a brilliant invuln save to protect him. So the pincer tail, strength for users, strength 8, AP 0, D3 damage. Each time he fights, he makes 1 and only 1 attack with this weapon, in addition to the bearer's attack. So easily forgotten, but an extra attack there. So Shadow in the Warp, and then there's a synapse creature as well, so it helps with the structure of your army. Hive Commander. In each of your shooting phases, you can pick one friendly Hive fleet unit within 6 inches of the Swarmlord. That unit can move and advance if you wish, as if it were the movement phase instead of shooting. This is one of the big reasons to take this guy here, the ability for another unit. And I'm not sure on this one if he can play it on himself. A lot of buffs do, you know, like a captain's reroll ones, he gets it himself. So if you know the answer to that in the comment section, I probably think you can, but I could be wrong on that. So check the comment section. If you're an experienced Tyranid player, then let us know if the Hive commander can benefit from that bonus and make himself move in the shooting phase. So we'll come back to that moment. The will of the hive mind, the range of the Swarmlord synapse ability is 18 inches rather than 12, so a greater sphere of influence for that, which is great. And if he does die on a 6, units within 3 is D3 mortal wounds. Again, we'll come back to that in a second. Just to cover the powers here. So Swarmlord can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers in each friendly psychic phase, and attempt to deny 2 psychic powers in each enemy psychic phase. No smite, and 2 powers from the hive mind disciplines. It's an excellent psyker as well. Really good. Manifest 2 and deny 2. It's fantastic. So the powers that I go for with him, and it seems to work quite well. There's plenty of options. You know, you got Catalyst. You can play it on another unit, or he can play it on himself. Pretty good. The Horror's okay, but the one that I go for, you got Onslaught and Paroxysm as well. So Onslaught's pretty good. You choose a unit within 18. It could be himself. It means that you can advance and charge, even if it advanced, though not if it fell back. So 9-inch move, make an advanced move, and then being able to charge. So you're hiding him for a few turns, you think, well, this is a bit of a waste, I'm going to lose the opportunity for close combat, but actually you can make him move quite quick. So give him Onslaught or another synapse unit nearby that's going to, you hope is going to stay alive, and that can help him shift across the board nice and quickly. Paroxysm, and be able to do something. Paroxysm as well, it's quite useful if you want him to go first in close combat, but with 3+ invuln save is pretty durable. This one here I go for, Psychic Scream. So warp charge value of 5, so it's very easy to make this one go off. If manifested, the nearest enemy unit within 18 suffers D3 mortal wounds. It's an extra smite. In addition, if that unit is a psyker, you roll 2 dice. If the result is higher than their leadership characteristic, you randomly select a psychic power, and they no longer have that psychic power. It's a bit of a bonus there. But the whole point behind that is to take a second smite. So reasoning behind that is he's closing in for the kill against some tough enemy character. You unleash Smite against that character and put mortal wounds on them, and then unleash Psychic Scream on them as well. So it's D3 mortal wounds and then D3 mortal wounds. You're just trying to weaken that target. Say it's Gilliman, for example. You really would want to try and weaken him as much as possible. So 2D3 mortal wounds coming through is really going to help. So whatever target you're going after, or maybe it's a vehicle, and you're worried he's not quite got enough damage to take that vehicle out, then Smite and Psychic Scream knocks off some mortal wounds and just makes his job a bit easier. And especially if you're up against a target that's got a nice lot of more invuln saves and so on, then mortal wounds can get straight through that. So I'd recommend Psychic Scream, Smite, and then maybe Onslaught as well, just so he's able to advance and charge, and help other units to do the same thing as well. So that's my take on psychic abilities. Check out the comment section, see what other players are saying. There'll be other experienced Tyranid players and ones that use Swarmlords. It's quite a popular choice, so if you have your own tactic you want to add in, then by all means leave that in the comments section. Now I'll mention as well, before we go back to his rule there, so that's Warlord traits, it's the abilities here that we're after. Kraken, questing tendrils. When a unit of this adaptation advances, remember there's psychic power there that lets you advance and then still charge. When you advance, you roll 3 dice instead of 1, pick the highest to add to the move characteristic of all models in that unit for that movement phase. In addition, such units can fall back and charge in the same turn. I mean, that is excellent. It really suits him. He's geared up for close combat. He has the ability to fall back and charge, which is superb. You know, really good tactical flexibility there. And then 3d6 choosing the best for your advance. That is super helpful as well. Very, very reliable advance moves being made by him. So you want that reliability just to be able to get across the table without having to spend command points or rerolls and so on. And usually 3d6 you're going to get a 5 or a 6 on average, and then that's going to give you a nice solid advance moves. That's what I go for. Kraken. Just there. So, one of the main tactical reasons. So he's a good psyker. He's good in close combat. Tough character, but not one you want to throw out and be shot to pieces. You want to preserve and try and keep him. Remember, you've spent 250 points on this model. So, trying to be clever with the way he's being used. And in the early turns of the game, the best thing you can do is to take advantage of this Hive commander. In each of your shooting phases, you pick a friendly Hive fleet unit within 6 inches. This unit can advance, move and advance if you wish, as if it were the movement phase instead of shooting. So remember, the unit's moved already, possibly advanced, and then it gets to move again and then advance on top of that. And it's particularly helpful for Genestealers. So my list has a lot of Genestealers in it, 3 big units of them. And Genestealers have the ability here, swift and deadly. Genestealers can charge even if they're advanced during their turn. So, show you how this could work here. So we've got, here's the Hive Tyrant. I need to put the Genestealer unit right in the corner here. So I'll do unit of 10. It doesn't matter, unit of 5. Just for illustration purposes. So here's my Genestealers. Enemy targets all the way over here. I move 8. So they are quick already. 3d6 because they're Kraken for advance. There's that 6. So we'll go another 6. Like so. And then, say the Hive Tyrant's keeping up, which he can. He's going 9. 3d6 choosing the best. There's another 6. See how reliable that advanced move is. So that gets him to there. But as long as he's within 6 inches of that unit, then select them during the shooting phase. And then away we go. We're going another 8 inches. It's off the table here, but it's another 8 inches. We're off camera. And plus another 3. And on top of that, that unit is still able to charge. So you're looking at a 16, 18, 28 inch potential move with these, and then still being able to charge at the end of it. So, and I think it gets better than that. I believe, as has been pointed out here, if you go to the stratagems section, there is a specific one for yeah, it's here for Kraken. Opportunistic advance. Use the stratagem movement phase when you roll the dice for an advancing Kraken unit other than a unit that can fly. So in your movement phase, you've got these Genestealers moving up. You can double the number you roll and add that to the total of their move characteristic for that movement phase, rather than following the normal rules for advancing. So you're rolling 3d6 for your advance, get a 6, double it to 12, so that's a 20 inch move. So Genestealer is going 20 inches plus 8 plus another advance and then a charge on top of that. So the idea with a Swarmlord is you patiently keep him hidden, tuck him away, keep him out of trouble, and then he helps guide units of Genestealers up the board. You sort of need to keep up with them though, so you might want to go around a flank or get to a building and hide behind it, so it's got to be sensible. And if you can't hide entirely, just try and cut down the amount of enemy units that can see him. There is the ability to use catalysts, 5+ feel no pain, and then you can also use, it's quite expensive, but if you really need it, there is, somewhere, rapid regeneration. Use a stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select a Tyranids model from your army. It regains D3 wounds lost earlier in the battle. It's quite expensive to do that in command points, but if you are in a desperate situation, you can restore some wounds. So that's the ability of him. And then, if you need to get him to move around the table very quick, then there is a move here that you can do. Yeah, it's called Metabolic Overdrive. I'm just thinking you can use Opportunistic Advance on himself, so he can roll 3d6 for advance, choosing the best and doubling it, and potentially charge. if you have the psychic power onslaught. So it's maybe you don't want to rely on another psyker for that. The other psyker dies and you've lost it, so maybe stick onslaught. So onslaught and psychic scream as the 2 psychic powers plus the smite. I think is perhaps the best loadout. But it's here, metabolic overdrive. If you suddenly need to get him to shift around the board, so use the strategy movement phase after moving a Tyranids unit from your army. So you've moved him, advanced him. You can make a second move of that unit, including advancing if you wish. When you do so, you must roll a dice for each model in the unit, which is only 1. On a roll of 1, it's a mortal wound. So it's very unlikely he's going to suffer any damage for it. But the unit cannot shoot or make a charge move this turn. So that does stop you from charging, despite psychic powers and so on. But if you need to get him around the board quickly, then that definitely is an option. A second move, including advancing. So he can relocate very, very quickly. So yeah, don't be too worried about if he is holding back for a couple of turns. He can move across the board very quickly indeed. It's not slow, with help of stratagems and psychic powers. And a decent high fleet option as well. So just sort of exhausting all the options. There is the here, adrenaline surge. He can fight again. In the fight phase, 3 command points is costly, but the ability to fight again. Trying to crack through a land raid or something. Attack with 6 attacks. Plus the pincer tower, use some damage, and then you want to try and finish it off. Then you can play adrenaline surge and go for some more attacks or fight again. So, and perhaps there's some other options that can be pointed out by others in the comment section. But that's the ones that I'm aware of. So if you check out the Tyranid battle reports, the Swarmlord is not to lead a bold tip of the spear charge, because I know he's going to get gunned down. The opponent, you know, it's psychologically, I mean, look at it, you wouldn't want that running towards you. So the opponent will try and blow it away. So it's more of a sneaky approach, which fits the profile of the Swarmlord anyway, with that Warlord trait to relocate, position and redeploy. It is kind of a sly, more subtle approach, despite this thing looking such a beast. But that's all the tactic I can think of to try and help you out. But the key then with him is to not lose him on the first couple of turns, because you've invested so many points, and if he dies you lose all the abilities. Psychic powers are lost, the ability to push units up the board, and so really he's more of a hinge for your army. You want to just keep tucked away, make good use of him by sending units forwards and helping them out, and then perhaps when the enemy army starts to get tied up, units being destroyed, then bring him out and start mopping up and support action with him. I think that's the best way to get the use out of your Swarmlord. I hope it's been a help to you. All the tactics, check out the comment section below. Follow me over on Instagram, and then on the channel here, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notification button as well, and that means you'll be notified when new videos come out. And then there's the painting tutorial as well. You can check that out if you want to copy my colour scheme. You're welcome to do that as well. But that's the video. Keep a look out for more Tactica for the Tyranids. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.